Statements, and we'll start with Ms. Karen H. Lilly, candidate for District 1. Ms. Lilly?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I am Karen Harris Lilly, and I am running for a second term as your District 1 representative. I have been a resident of Columbiana for 65 years. Floyd Lilly and I have been married for 47 years. We are the proud parents of 6 and the grandparents of 11. We are blessed to have produced a nurse, 2 businessmen, a banker, a teacher, a graduate programs coordinator, and a law enforcement officer. I have been a parent at the Columbiana Middle School for more than 17 years. Over those 17 years, I've had the opportunity to interact with either you, your children, or your grandchildren. I am currently on the City Council representing District 1. Also, I serve on the Columbiana Library Board. During my current term as District 1 representative, I've worked on several projects, including getting abandoned homes and buildings torn down, neighborhood roads paved, drainage problems, grass being cut, more police patrolmen on dark roads and in our neighborhoods. Let me also add that we now have a daycare in our district. My vision is to continue to see our neighborhoods flourish. I will continue to advocate for our school safety, after-school programs, and I want to see more storm shelters in our District 1 area. I am dedicated to continue to bring a fresh perspective and common sense solutions to the City Council, and your vote is needed to continue to make a real difference in Columbiana. I'm through.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lilly. Now we'll turn and we'll hear from Mr. Randall Simmons with his opening statement. Mr. Simmons?
Thank you for the sponsors of the event tonight, and thank you for all for coming. It's nice to see so many that's interested in their city government, so thank you. A little bit about me. I'm Randall Simmons. My friends and family know me as Randy, excuse me. I'm married to Susan Simmons. She's here tonight. We have 4 grown children. Congratulations to the family. Seems really wonderful. We have 4 grown children, have 3 grandchildren. They couldn't be here tonight with school starting. They're all doing school things tonight. I'm a lifelong resident of Alabama. I grew up in a small town in South Alabama that's similar in size to Columbiana. Me and Susan moved here. We really probably could have chosen anywhere to live. We chose Columbiana. We met a lot of people here, and just seeing what goes on here, and it's a really wonderful town, and we wanted to be a part of it. So we really love it here. Actually feel like I'm kind of back home here, which is nice. People ask me, why are you running for city council? I've never done anything like this before. I just never really had the opportunity until now. I feel like I have something to offer, and just want to serve the people here. I'm not a politician. This is all new to me. Okay, so I've had several years experience. I've had my own small business, managed teams of over 100 people before. But the biggest thing that I think I do well, and that's listen. Working with others. And I think that's what city council, being on the city council is about, is listening to you people. That's how we learn. My granddaddy told me when I was little, he sat me down, he said, hey Judge, he called me by Judge. He had a name for all the members of his family, and I was judge for some reason. And he said, hey, let me explain something to you. You have one mouth. You have 2 ears. I know everybody's heard this by now, but listen. You know, you've got 2 ears. Listen more than you talk. That's how you learn, right? So, being on the city council, I think, means being an advocate for people. And that's part of it. It's listening. It's learning, you know, their needs, their wants, their concerns. You know, I want to be the voice for the people in District 1 to City Hall. As wonderful as all the people are that's running for office, not one person can make Columbiana as good as it can be. It takes a team. It takes working together, and that also means the people, not just the city council, the mayor, you know, it's everybody. Everybody has to be involved, and that's what I want to do. I don't really have any campaign promises except just a couple. And that is, you know, I'll always listen to the people's concern, and I'll always have the people's best interests at heart. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll move to the closing statements portion as determined by a drawing before the candidates came forward. And that order will be starting with Mr. Simmons and then Ms. Lilly. So Mr. Simmons, we'll invite you back to the podium to make your closing statement.
This will be short. I want to reiterate again, thanks to the sponsors. Thanks for coming out. Your vote counts, every one of them. Regardless of who you support, you know, who your favorite candidate is, whatever district, mayor, you know, just get out and vote. That's my message, my final message. Just vote. Thank you.
And Ms. Lilly, your closing statement.
Believe it or not, the election is right around the corner. I would like to thank all of you for your attendance. As I conclude, I wish to highlight some of my continued projects and concerns. Number 1, our children. Number 2, more storm shelters in District 1 and more businesses. I promise to continue to remain transparent and available to you. I stand on the shoulders of previous District 1 representatives, Councilman Johnny Lee, Councilwoman Frida Bush, and the late Councilman Leslie White. I've seen a lot of great things happening in this district, and I hope you and I can continue to work together and make a difference. Remember, we are one. Thank you.
My name is Robert Irwin. I'm a local teacher here in Columbiana. I teach the automotive program at the trade school. I'm also a bus driver. So some of the things that I'm looking at as I decided to make this run for city council is every day in my classroom, I'm driving the future. Whether I'm driving young people in my shop into careers, or I'm driving everybody's grandkids and children, grandkids, great-grandkids, everybody home. I've always had a little bit of a leadership abilities in me, but the things I've seen just by looking around is it's not about me. It's about the town we live in. I don't have a lot of roots in this town, but I live here. I own a home here. I work here. I go to the dentist here. I go to the doctor here. I shop here. I am an Army brat. My dad was a retired military, so I didn't get an opportunity to really set roots in one specific place. We set roots in Korea, Hawaii, Germany, South Carolina, Louisiana, Georgia. So as a kid growing up, I got to see a lot of different things, a lot of different towns and all these things. So as a young man growing up in the automotive industry, I got to see a lot of different things. I went to work at U.S. Steel, where I got a lot of experience when it comes to leadership abilities. I know a lot of people don't like hearing the word unions, but I was a 12-term union official with the United Steelworkers Local 2122. Did a term as secretary, a term as vice president, 2 terms as president. I'm a Freemason right here in Columbiana, a member of the South Shelby 140 Lodge, where got a lot of leadership capabilities. But where I get the majority of my leadership capabilities is from being a teacher. Seeing all these young people grow, 10th graders, 11th graders, and 12th graders. The next thing you know, I'm standing in a Walmart and they come up to me after they graduated and thank me for helping them be successful. So the point of the matter is, that's what I want to do. I want to make us successful. First thing is, think about, people talk about safety. Now, I don't know all the logistics of everything about safety, but we're the county seat and we have a volunteer fire department. I think something needs to be done. I think we need to figure out a way to get some funds to improve this, because we shouldn't have a volunteer fire department. We should be having paid people that go and run these fires. Council members are paid monthly. I think the fire department needs to be paid something more than what they already get. And I don't know all of the logistics of how the city council works together with the Board of Education. But I see a lot of things as a teacher where Helena and Chelsea, they farm a lot of money into the Shelby County schools. We need to figure out a way to do that in our system. We're a growing system. I see it every day in this school system. We're over capacity. I've heard people say, yeah, we're under capacity. No, we're not. This town has grown. So naturally, we gotta help put a little bit of money into the school system. Infrastructure, thank goodness that they're actually doing a repair on Depot Street, where they're finally getting some of the sewer stuff done. Look, I'm a team player. I've always been a team player, and I think that's what we need. Just make sure to be a part of a team. I read a statement the other day from Alabaster where it talked about transparency. And I put a post on there that said something about, well, being able to work together is one thing, but collaboration. I went to the council meeting the other day and brought up that there was a missing road sign by the Napa store. That's Joey sponsors my program at school. I'm just a regular old member, but I brought it up about the sign missing. So in theory, you don't have to be a council member to make a difference. Everybody can make a difference, but we all got to work together. So with that being said, that's why I decided to run for city council. I'm just a regular old Joe. I don't wear a suit. I'm a dirty guy. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. So thank you all very much.
Now let me invite Ashley Phillips to come to the podium and share his opening remarks.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Ashley Phillips, and I'm running for re-election for City Council in District 5. I grew up in Columbiana, and I attended all the schools here, and I've lived here my whole life. I am married to Stephanie. I have 4 grown children, by age I think, only, and 2 grandsons. And I also attend the Methodist Church here in town. This past May, I retired from Elvin Hill Elementary School, where I was able to teach students and prepare them for the middle school years. It would be an honor for me to serve on the city council again, to serve the community that I love. If re-elected, here are some things that I would like the council to address. There are many, but I'm going to give you 3. The first one is we need to purchase a new fire truck. We're long past due. All right, it would be a great investment for our city to move forward. The second is we need to improve our sidewalks and continue to repave our city streets. The third is we need to continue to improve our park and rec facilities so our youth have plenty of activities to participate in. Now, in closing here, I am a loyal, honest, and transparent guy. If you have any concerns or questions, please feel free to contact me anytime. I'll try to get you an answer or a solution. I just want our city to continue to be a great place to raise a family and to live. So I hope you will put your trust in me on election day by supporting me. in 3 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Thank you, sir. And now you have an opportunity for we determined the order for the closing statements with the drawing, and Mr. Phillips will go first.
All right, look, as I said, I'm a Columbiana guy, and I feel like I understand what Columbiana needs. I have a lot of relationships throughout this city, and I feel like if we got to get things done, I can get it done. My phone is always open. You can call me anytime, and I try to answer every call that I get. It may not be the answer that you want, but I will work with you and do the best that I can. So everybody, please come out and vote in 3 weeks, and thanks a lot for coming tonight.
And now we'll hear Mr. Irwin, your closing statement.
Like I said, I can't stand in front of a podium. We have them in school, but I don't use them. First off, I just want to say thank you to the Shelby County Chamber of Commerce. Say thank you to the Shelby County Reporter, the City of Columbiana for hosting this event. And I want to say a special thank you to my kids and their partners sitting in the rows, and my significant partner, Sasha, up here. Big supporters of this. I will say that what matters is people need to work together. Collaboration, however you want to put it. I feel like I got a lot of experience over the years of the different things that I've done, whether it be through the union, through the teaching, through the bus driving, all the different things. I have a lot of qualities. Yeah, I don't have roots here, but I have roots all across the world, thanks to my dad raising me up through the military. But I have a pretty brilliant mind when it comes to negotiating contracts, running safety committees, all the different things from over the years. I just look forward to seeing this place grow. Naturally, it's going to take everybody working together in unity. The biggest thing is, when you go to vote, I want you to vote your conscience. Not, you know what I mean? Let your conscience be your guide. I love Ashley. Ashley and I are really good friends. So it's not necessarily that I dislike him or he dislikes me. It was just a decision that I told him about and thought about doing it. And we done made a decision. Whoever wins, we're going to go celebrate. Ain't that right? Because in theory, what matters is you guys. So I just want to say thank you to all the residents of Columbiana, businesses. My number is 205-746-4158. I live at 407 North Main Street, red brick house. The only red brick house on Main Street.
Let me invite the two candidates for mayor for the city of Columbiana to come forward in alphabetical order: Lisa Strickland Davis and David Mitchell. Let's give them both a round of applause. I'm going to just spend a couple minutes just to explain to everyone the format for tonight as we move into this portion of tonight's forum. Again, to both candidates, your willingness to put yourself forward before the voters of the city of Columbiana is a true testament to your desire to represent the community and lead the community. So I want to, on behalf of the Shelby County News Media, thank you both for putting yourself forward. Now, for this portion of our forum, each candidate will be asked the same questions and given 3 minutes to respond. The sequence for answering those questions will rotate alphabetically. Neither of the candidates have been provided with the questions prior to this event. The candidates will respond to these questions in this alphabetical sequence, with each candidate alternating responding to the question first. That rotation will continue in this fashion through the end of the question and answer portion of the mayoral forum. In the interest of time, there will be no opening statements. There will, however, be the opportunity for each candidate to provide a closing statement, and these closing statements should be no longer than 3 minutes. Alec Etheridge will continue as timekeeper and provide each of the candidates with a countdown during the answer and comments portion of the forum by holding up a card indicating the time remaining. Alec, if you'll just make sure that they can see those. So thank you all. So now we'll begin the portion of the Q&A, and we will begin the first question with Ms. Davis. Ms. Davis, if you'll come to the podium. And I will repeat the question for any candidate anytime if they desire. So first question, Ms. Davis, why should the citizens of Columbiana elect you mayor?
Well, that's a little bit of a loaded question, but one reason that I think the citizens should elect me is I am a homegrown girl. I have roots here. I've lived in Columbiana over 50 years. I have dedicated much of my life to volunteer for Columbiana. I have had some type of footprint on civic organizations, boards, sports, schools, churches, things like that. I think everyone knows my heart is here in this city. I absolutely want to make a positive change. I've always said if you want change, be part of the change. And I don't think that David has done a bad job. I just feel like this is something that maybe at this point in time is in my life and in our city, I felt very led to run for mayor, and I feel very blessed to have the support from my family, my husband Daryl, my parents, lots of friends and relatives here in Columbiana, and I would be honored to have your vote August the 26th as mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Mitchell, same question. Why should the citizens of Columbiana elect you mayor?
Well, I will agree with Lisa in that I think we've done a great job in the last 4.5 years. We've kind of turned the city around. I am the incumbent mayor, and I would like to continue to keep the city moving in this direction that we've been taking it in. You know, as far as qualifications and skills and things of that nature, you know, I have a lifetime of service and sacrifice. The military, aerospace and defense career after I got out of the military, where basically I continued to serve the war fighters. And, you know, in my civilian jobs, I also led organizations, served on their chambers of commerce as the corporate reps, worked with the Boy Scouts, youth sports organizations, United Way chairman for various organizations. And currently I've been active in the Alabama League of Municipalities. And what's great about the League of Municipalities is they represent all the municipalities in Alabama. And the small municipalities like Columbiana don't have a strong voice in the state legislature. So I serve on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and the Transportation and Infrastructure and Communications Committee is a critical voice to the legislature in the state of Alabama. Experience creating jobs, both as a businessman and a small business owner. And I've also, you know, want to be the mayor because I think when you live in a city, you want to live somewhere that you love beyond reason. And we love this place beyond reason. I first came to Columbiana in 1971 and was lucky enough to meet the prettiest girl in Columbiana, and she's still the prettiest girl in Columbiana today. A year and a half later, in 1972, we married and called Columbiana home. So we have deep roots here, and we want to continue. I think that's important to have somebody who has deep roots here, even though we have moved around quite a bit around the world. So the main thing I want to do is just keep this city heading in the right direction. And I can tell you some of those accomplishments, I think, later on when we have a little bit more time and some of the other questions, and just keep us heading in the right direction.
Thank you. Mr. Mitchell, sorry. If I could get you to come back, alternating. I'm not doing a good job. I told you both I would keep y'all from doing it. So second question, and Mr. Mitchell, we'll start with you for this one. What, in your opinion, are the priorities and responsibilities of the city of Columbiana as mayor?
Okay, well, I'm going to start with the responsibilities first. Okay, and you know, it's been said that the mayor is a part-time job but a full-time responsibility. And municipalities and mayors and council members in Alabama, we don't have any authority other than what the state legislature gives us. That's called the Dillon Rule. And most states have some form of the Dillon Rule in force, but in Alabama, we're pretty much lock, stock, and barrel. But basically, some of these responsibilities are established by state statute, and then some of these responsibilities are what we think we need to do in our local area. But basically, there's 3 branches of government in the municipalities, just like there are in the state and federal government: an executive, a legislative, executive being the mayor's office, legislative being the city council, and a judicial branch. We have a municipal judge. And so the mayor is the head of the executive branch. So his first responsibility is to oversee the daily operations of the city. The mayor has the authority to hire most municipal employees and also oversees the municipal employees. Mayor ensures that the bills are paid on time. The mayor executes municipal contracts, but only those contracts that have been authorized by the city council. The mayor presides over council meetings. And in cities with populations less than 12,000 like Columbiana, the mayor is also a voting member of the city council. If you're larger than 12,000 people, you're not a voting member of the council. The mayor prepares the city budget, presents it to the council for approval, and the mayor, and this is a very important thing, is the ambassador of the city. I work a lot with county, state, federal elected officials, county, state, and federal agencies. I've already mentioned the League of Municipalities, sitting on the Transportation, Infrastructure, and Communications Committee. And I worked with the Shelby County Mayors Association as the vice chairman of the Mayors Association. All of those things are important because what we do is we network with other mayors and elected officials around the state, and we learn how they handle problems and what we need to do to handle ours. So priorities. My first priority is to follow the law. When we get sworn in, we take an oath. That oath says we'll support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the state of Alabama, and the laws of the state are an extension of that Constitution, and I take that oath very seriously. My other obligation and priority is to do the right thing. And that means different things to different people. I want to focus on public safety, easy for me to say, and continue our prosperity, our growth, if you will. Fiscal responsibilities are another important role of the mayor, and the mayor needs to establish a vision and execute that vision.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Ms. Davis, same question to you. What, in your opinion, are the priorities and responsibilities of the City of Columbiana's mayor?
I think the main priority for me would be to be accessible to the citizens, to have transparency so that people, the citizens of the city, always feel like they can come to the leader as mayor and voice their concerns, voice their opinions, things like that. The mayor is the CEO of the city, so all the financial responsibilities, all of the budgets, all of the hiring, firing, things like that of that nature would all go through the mayor. I do agree that there's so many things. The League of Municipalities is a good thing to look into and to be a part of. I also want to try to rebuild some relationships between other community leaders, the county. I think it's very important for us to have collaborations with all of those communities and promote Columbiana. I think that's one of the things that we might not be excelling at right now. Our city is a hidden jewel. And there's so many opportunities right here in Columbiana that I think as mayor to be an ambassador and bring people in and show them our little piece of heaven right here in Columbiana. So as mayor, I would want to bridge a gap between citizens, employees, other municipalities and communities and be a voice for everyone.
Thank you. You can say that. So you'll begin with question 3, answering this first. In your opinion, what are Columbiana's biggest strengths and weaknesses, and how do you as mayor plan to take full advantage of those strengths and overcome those weaknesses?
Well, I think one of the weaknesses, I will start with that and then we'll go into some positive things. I think one of the weaknesses that Columbiana has is we're off the beaten path. We don't have Highway 65. We don't have Highway 280. So you actually have to make a special effort to come to Columbiana. But I think once people do that and they look around, they interact with people here in our town, they see what we see. They want to come back. They want to shop. They want to dine. They want to move here. We've got some growth going on. My priority would be slow, steady, intelligent growth. I think that's probably a weakness, is our location. But it's also a positive, because we have such an opportunity to shine when people come here. So one of the things that I really think is important here would be to focus on some of the things that we have, like the Old Mill Square Park. We've got this great venue here for events and arts, and we have so many great concerts and activities on Main Street. I think that we have the small town charm that everyone is looking for, and it's a great place to raise your family, get plugged in, and just come and be a part of the community. So I think that all of those things are positive. I find very few weaknesses, and I just want to share our community with others.
Thank you. Mr. Mitchell, same question to you. In your opinion, what are Columbiana's biggest strengths and weaknesses, and how do you as mayor plan to take full advantage of those strengths and overcome those weaknesses?
Well, this is an area where I think we're going to be in a lot of agreement. So, strengths. Even though we are off the beaten path, our location is one of our strengths. According to the Shelby County website, Columbiana is a geographic center of the state of Alabama. Clear claims there, geographic center of the state of Alabama. Montevallo's got a little marker on the campus there that says this is the geographic center of the state of Alabama. I actually did it the old-fashioned way. I drew a diagonal line from corner to corner, and where it intersected was Columbiana. So we're pretty close to the geographic, and because of that, we are accessible to a vast array of industries. Auto industry, 60 miles from Honda in Lincoln, 72 miles from Hyundai in Montgomery, 100 miles to Toyota Mazda in Huntsville, 60 miles to Tuscaloosa and Mercedes. Aerospace industry, agriculture, we got great access to medical here. Our education is really good here. People are concerned about our schools, but our K through 12 schools, according to test scores, last time I looked at the data, wasn't much too long ago, we were in about the 85th percentile in the state of Alabama, so that's pretty good. And we got access to all kinds of post-secondary education, and we have the Career Technical Education Center as well for people who are interested in trades. We have the quintessential downtown and Main Street here in Columbiana. We're a Hallmark card. And in fact, on August 23rd, you can see the Hallmark movie Double Scoop, which was filmed right here on our Main Street in Columbiana. We've got a rich history, we've got a lot of culture, and we are the gateway to outdoor paradise here in Columbiana, hunting, fishing, lay lake, hiking, biking. We got a planning grant for the recreation economy for rural communities, and we have a community action plan, how to leverage those resources to create tourism in Columbiana. We claim the 4-H, Alabama 4-H Center as part of Columbiana. And like Lisa, I see our weaknesses as opportunities. And our location and not having I-65 is we need transportation connectivity to Interstate 65. But that's an opportunity, and we're already working on that. The Shelby County Comprehensive Plan has that widening of Highway 70 to connect us to 65 as part of their visionary plan. And we got it put into the State Transportation Improvement Plan. We recently submitted a grant to the U.S. government using an Apple study and a raise to pave 2 miles of that. So we're already on our way to solving what we perceive as a weakness, but I think it's an opportunity.
You can stay there.
Okay.
Okay, starting question 4, Mr. Mitchell, we begin with you. So we've heard a lot about transparency, not only in this community, but in others around the county. So we're going to give you both an opportunity to share that if elected, what are your plans for transparency with the public to ensure open government?
Well, I made transparency one of my major objectives when I ran for mayor in 2020. And, you know, the way I look at it, it's not necessarily because people are trying to hide things or there's anything nefarious going on. It was just difficult to get the information. Give you an example, and this is not much better today, is I was trying to get current financial data, and the only thing that was readily available was our audited financial statements. They were more than 2 years old. By the time they come out now, when they're completed, the data is a year old, and by the time the next one comes out, they're 2 years old even today. That's kind of just the way that is. So, to make financial data more transparent, what I did was said, we're going to put our monthly budget reports on the website every month. We're going to review them at every second council meeting at a high level so people can see where every penny is spent in the city. People said, well, I don't know what's going on in the city. And they were told, well, you need to come to city council meeting. So I know a lot of people couldn't. And in 2020, obviously, we're dealing with COVID. So the first thing we did during my administration is we started live streaming the city council meetings. They're recorded. If you can't watch them live, if you can't attend in person, you can look on the city's website, Facebook page, or YouTube channel, and you can see the recorded. We codified our city ordinances. Those are also posted on the website so you can see it. I've already mentioned the current budget data. We have a process in our audit called a management discussion and analysis. Financial statements are complicated. No mayor prior to me had ever done a management discussion and analysis. It's required by GASB, the Government Accounting Standards Board. I do one every time we do an audit. The other thing is the mayor is required every 6 months to give a written semi-annual report on the financial condition of the municipality to the city council. No mayor had ever done it before I became mayor. We do it all the time. It's posted on our website. You can find it. We implemented Columbiana Connect. I just stated community presentations, been done before, but you can also see that. You can get anything you want through the Open Meetings Act, Open Records Act, but you got to know what you're looking for. And so that's why we put that stuff out there so you'll have an idea. Finally, about accessibility and communication. There's only one office in City Hall that's not behind a plexiglass screen or a locked door, and it's mine. So we try to make ourselves accessible, and we look for you to come and communicate with us, and we'll certainly respond to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Ms. Davis, same question for you. If elected, what are your plans for transparency with the public to ensure open government?
Well, I think accessibility is very important. I would always be willing to talk, email, respond to phone calls, things like that. I do know that the city website, all of the documents, the budgets, the audits, all of those things are online, but it's not very user-friendly. So I would really like to try to make it a little easier for everyone to be able to access our website, be able to go right to things, and if you have a question, type it in and you pull up things. I do agree with the mayor about the 6-month updates, the health of the city. I think that's very important. I know after you're elected and you become mayor, there's a 100-day period where they want you to go in and check off things, and it's sort of the transition, and I would be very open and transparent about that. I also want, what's very important to me, and I've had a lot of people commenting on, is they feel like they're not seeing leadership in our town, and I'm out. I'm on the streets, I'm in the restaurants, I'm in the businesses. I always want to feel approachable. I want someone to always feel confident and comfortable enough that there would be confidentiality, and I will get to the bottom of their concern, their complaint, their compliment. You know, those are all things that to me are included in transparency. Financials, I think the city always relies on the auditing system. The city clerk is a very important part of transparency. So my main goal would be to absolutely 100% be available. I think that is, if you call me, I may not answer the phone right then, but I'm going to get right back to you, and whatever your problem or concern is, I'm going to find out. If I don't know, I'm going to find out, and we're going to get to the bottom of it just to help all of the citizens. So transparency and accountability is very important to me. I must say
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll start with question 5 with you, Ms. Davis. So, do you believe the city of Columbiana has the amenities it needs for its residents? If yes, please explain. If no, what is your vision to solve this question?
Wow, Columbiana has so many amenities for families, for young couples, for middle-aged people like me and my husband. There are walking trails, there are great parks. Our downtown area is so accessible now. I'm downtown all the time, so I see families out, new families that have moved into some of the new subdivisions that are strolling their children. Their little children are riding bicycles. We've got a great park and rec department. I've served on that board many years ago. It's not just baseball and softball. We have football. We've got pickleball now. We have tennis. We have all kinds of things. But there's always room for improvement, always room for improvement. I think it's very important to keep the youth in our city busy. There's all kinds of new sports and fun things. There's disc golf and things like that. So I always think that we need to be thinking outside the box. My husband and I travel quite a bit, and we see what other small communities have available to some of their citizens. And I always take pictures and write notes, and I come back and I think, this would be great to implement in Columbiana. So I have lots of great ideas to try to keep our children active and involved, because if we keep them active and involved, there's less room for negative things to come into their lives. So to me, the children are our future, and I think we've got great amenities here. I would like to try to work towards getting a few other activities and things like that for kids. I think it's very important to try to fix some of the sidewalks that are already existing in our town. I know there's grant money, there's all kinds of things that we need to explore, but we also need to have accessibility for some of our seniors, our senior citizens that have the need for sidewalks to be able to get to grocery stores, restaurants, things like that. So there's always room for improvement. So I think that we have a lot of amenities, but like I said, there's always room for improvement, and my door would always be open, and I'm open-minded enough to let's come up with some new and fun ideas.
Thank you. Mr. Mitchell? Same question for you. Do you feel the City of Columbiana has the amenities it needs for its residents? If yes, please explain. If no, what is your vision to solve this issue?
So the answer is no. When you compare Columbiana, however, to other cities our size, in our financial situation, if you will, we actually have pretty good amenities. One of the issues that we're having now is our community is spreading outward. We have most of our recreational facilities are concentrated on the core legacy part of town, if you will. And we have needs for some more recreation facilities in the outlying areas and maybe some of the underserved areas of our community. Sidewalks. We're working on our budget now, and we're making sidewalks a priority. We're kind of ahead of our plan of where we are on road repaving. So what we want to do is say, okay, let's divert some of those resources to try to repair sidewalks. There are some really, really bad sidewalks in our town, and it's going to take us a while to get them done, but we're going to develop a plan, and we're going to start doing that. One of the things that we've been looking at is, as we're going forward, is financing our sewer treatment plant. And we had a investment banker come and give us a very, very interesting plan on how we might be able to get some additional revenue and additional funds that we might could use for things like those sidewalks and the fire truck that was mentioned earlier today. Everybody wants different types of restaurants and stores and things of that nature, Starbucks and Chick-fil-A and all these other things. All of those businesses have very specific requirements, and this sounds like an excuse, but if we're going to solve problems, we have to face the reality of what's out there. And they look at population density, and we're low population density. They look at median household income, and we're low to moderate median household income. They look at traffic and things of that nature. So we're challenged in that regard, but we can find alternatives. For example, instead of a Starbucks, you can go to the Leader's Corner Coffee and Tea, and you can get you a very good cup of coffee there. So we're expanding our amenities. I think it was mentioned earlier about how we're filling up Main Street with new businesses. They're viable businesses. They're doing good. When people come to Columbiana for Music on Main and things like that, 75% of those, based on me just going and talking to those folks, they're from outside of Columbiana coming into town, paying their money. Ms. Lilly mentioned the need for storm shelters in some of the outlying areas, and that's something that we need. Not necessarily an amenity, but I think those recreation facilities. I would love, if I could find that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, I would love for us to have a brand new community center in Columbiana that does so much more. So, thank you.
Thank you, and you can stay there. Sorry. Okay, for both of you, it's time to look into your crystal ball. And please share with the audience, where do you see the city of Columbiana in 4 years?
Well, we put together a team in 2022 to participate in the League of Municipalities' first Economic Development Academy. It was myself, it was 2 members of our city council, our city clerk, and a couple of business leaders, one from retail and one from the industrial side of the house. And one of the things that we did is we came up with a vision statement for the city. And basically, I think it goes to what everybody wants us to do in Columbiana. And it wants us to be the Alabama's small city of choice, and focusing on economic prosperity, amenities, which we just talked about, and basically just continuing to grow in a reasonable fashion. I'm going to see if I can't find the actual statement that we drafted and read that to you, because I think it's pretty good. Although it's I would call it a draft simply because of the fact that it's not something that the community has actually bought into, and so we would have to get that too. But I do think it had a lot of thought to it because of the fact that the Economic Development Academy team put it together. So Alabama's small city of choice. Thriving small city of choice. 4 years from now. So we want to be that small city of choice. We're literally the center of Alabama, if you will. And notes here. Here we go. We need a city with a plan. We need to update our comprehensive plan. It's 10 years old. It's time to do that. We need to keep it up to date. We need access to affordable housing. The nation, the state, has an issue with affordable housing. 15%, only 15% of households in Columbiana can afford the median-priced home. We have a shortage of rental housing and apartments. I already mentioned citywide access to recreation facilities, a walkable downtown with parks and green spaces, a vibrant retail market, revitalized industrial park. We do have some new businesses on the horizon that we're working with to bring out there. We need to expand our technology businesses, and we're working with one to do that. And then continue to get restaurants and entertainment venues that are going to pull visitors into Columbiana. Is it doable? Yeah, it's doable. Or will we be able to get everything done in 4 years? Well, maybe. Can we set it in motion? Well, absolutely we can. And I see us being Alabama's thriving city of choice, and we're well on our way.
Thank you. Ms. Davis. Sorry.
It's confusing.
So I'll repeat the question. You get to look in your crystal ball, and where do you see the city of Columbiana in 4 years?
Well, in 4 years, I hope that our infrastructure is a little more stable. That has been a huge issue recently. We have a lot of financial responsibilities that we're about to have to come up with to pay for this sewer treatment plant. So it would be a huge blessing to have that all taken care of and situated. That should be done, I think, by 2027 is what I've been told. We'll be working, both of those ponds will be working at about 1 million gallons per day. Anyway, that's a huge thing. We've got a lot of homes coming in and some new neighborhoods, and we do have houses coming in, but I would also like to see some slow, steady, intelligent growth. I would like to see some larger homes, some larger lots. I do think affordable housing is important, but so is a little higher tax bracket. That way those people have some disposable income that can come and shop. They can come and eat in our restaurants. They can come and shop in our stores, things like that. They can invest in our community. I would also like to really bridge the gap between the citizens and the leadership in our community. I think there's been some shortfallings with that recently, and I just always want people to feel like the leaders in Columbiana are approachable and always accessible. I would be honored to be the mayor so that you guys could come to me and talk about anything that's a concern. Another thing that I would really like to do is to try to collaborate with the county. Columbiana is the county seat. I think that there needs to be more collaboration between the county and the city. I think it would be a benefit to both of us. I also would really, really like to try to contribute a little bit more to the schools. Our children are our future, and I think that working with the budget and things like that, we can find some type of way to try to help the schools with some shortfalls. And even if it's not financially, we can get together as groups and the city council and volunteers and get out in our schools to show that our kids, you want to participate in your community, you want to volunteer in your community. That has always been instilled in me by my family, and I think when you're invested, even if it's just your time, I think it's important for our kids. Another thing, in 4 years, I would love to see some new businesses, some new industry. I think that's very important for financially for our city. The more successful our small businesses are, the more industry that we have, the more revenue that we're going to have coming in, that we can turn right around and invest in our city.
Thank you, and you get to stay there. So I promise, while we stated earlier that neither of the candidates were given the questions before, we had no idea what their responses would be, but that's a perfect segue, Ms. Davis. And Alec, this is a two-part question, so let's allow a little bit more time on this one. So two-part, a lot of talk about small businesses, etc. So as mayor, what do you believe the city can do to help grow small business in Columbiana as part A? And then part B, what plans, if any, do you have to help attract more businesses into the city of Columbiana?
Well, all of you that know me know that I am the daughter of a small business owner. My grandfather came to Columbiana. He was traveling as a salesman and was actually selling shoes to Faulkner's department store and chose Columbiana. So I understand the history of small businesses here. I understand the sacrifice. I understand the dream. I think every small business owner, it started with a dream, and when you bring that to fruition, you want it to be successful. So as mayor, I would want my team to try to reach out to small businesses, to try to see what we can do to help promote your business, every business, not just a selected few. I think every business in Columbiana is just as important as the next one. And promotion is a key, a vital part of being successful. If one business is successful and one business is promoting another business or a sister business, everyone's success is Columbiana's success. So small business is the heartbeat of our town. Our Main Street, downtown area is the heartbeat of our city. It's vital to keep it looking good, to have it thriving, to have all of the businesses and the buildings full. And I would absolutely advocate for small businesses while also trying to go outside of Columbiana to try to bring in some different types of industry and things like that so that we can have a little more financial security. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mitchell, same question, two-part, and we'll allow a little bit more time on this one. So, part A, what can the city do to help grow small business in Columbiana? And then B, what plans, if any, do you have to help attract more businesses into the city of Columbiana?
Okay, so Economic Development 101, protect the businesses and support the businesses you have, and then start working on bringing the new businesses in. And we've certainly been doing that in the last 4.5 years. The recent expansion in the last few years of the Music on Main has really brought lots and lots of people into our town, and to be able to support the businesses that we have. Granted, it's focused on Main Street, and there are businesses in Columbiana who are outside of Main Street, so obviously we need to do things there. The last Liberty Day, which has been growing bigger and bigger each year, we brought 35,000 people into Columbiana. That's 7 times our population. And those people are here and they're spending money, and we're doing that obviously to support the businesses that we have. We had a project again at the Economic Development Academy to help revitalize Main Street and connect Main Street to the Old Mill Square, because we need to leverage this facility as well. And a big part of that we just recently accomplished, which was repaving the alley so we can connect and have a good walkable area between here and Main Street. The other part of it is we're working on and finalizing our new Public Works facility, and we'll be able to tear down this Public Works storage building and open up that space between the Old Mill Square and the alley, put a pavilion or something there to make it more attractive and to assist our businesses. Now, as far as planning to attract new business, I work a great deal with 58 Inc. I was meeting with a business in 58 Inc. just yesterday, as a matter of fact. I've worked with 58 Inc. to explore some potential incentives for a new business that's coming out into the industrial park, which desperately needs to be revitalized because it's a blighted area in our town. We have 8 or 10 plans that we use bits and pieces of from time to time to obviously support bringing in new businesses. Plans are no good unless they're executed. One of them is the comprehensive plan, and it talks about things that we can do to improve our town for our existing businesses and new businesses. when we started bringing to Main Street to Columbiana. Main Street, Alabama came in and did a market study and a strategy for us. Transportation, we've already talked about that. I've worked with the county and the Regional Planning Commission, and we've done a Apple study on the highway, and we, like I said, we put in a request for a grant to widen and improve 2 miles of Highway 70 going from town to 26. Bringing people in through recreation, we got a planning grant, the Recreation Economy for Rural Communities. We have a community action plan that's got some good stuff in it. And some of it has been implemented, and some of it we've almost implemented. We've had some investors come in, and then we didn't go through. We hired a company to help a vision plan for urban planning for Columbiana so that we can manage how our city will grow in the future. The current Shelby County Comprehensive Plan, as I mentioned, has got a lot of good things that it's considering from Columbiana. So a lot of things. So key elements: engage with 58 Inc., incentives where appropriate, continue to pursue planning grants. And the key for us is leveraging recreation and tourism by using the community action plan that was in that RERC planning grant that we did. We also need to focus on diversification. We're highly focused on retail, and we need to think industrial as well. So, and things that companies that I'm working with is the expansion of Brown Lumber with their truss factory, the new Tractor Supply, which is retail coming to town, and U.S. Data Centers, which is a high-tech AI automation place, as well as working with the state, the city, and the county to improve the transportation connectivity between Columbiana and the interstate. All of those things, I think, are going to help our existing businesses and help us attract new businesses.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. You can stay there. Final question, and we'll start with you. So the CEO of any organization, and particularly in the city, certainly has to put on their sales hat. So let's switch gears from the business side to the municipal side. How would you describe Columbiana to someone wanting to move to the city?
Well, I would tell them is that Columbiana is a quintessential small town with a vibrant economy and an improving economy. It is a sportsman's paradise. It has everything that you would want to have if you wanted to come and settle in Columbiana. It has good schools, as we've talked about. It has access to world-class health care, not too far away. It's got access to world-class education, again, not too far away. And we're centrally located to continue, like I said, to develop our industry so that we can support all the various industries, automobile, aerospace, medical, etc., around the state of Alabama. So again, Columbiana is Alabama's thriving city of choice, and that's the way I would describe it.
Thank you. Ms. Davis, same question to you, putting on your sales hat as the mayor. How would you describe Columbiana to someone wanting to move to the city?
I would describe Columbiana as a place that you want to raise your children. You want them to go to school here. You want them to do business here. You want them to buy groceries here. You have the opportunity to go to the lake and have casual, fun, family memories. I want everyone here to feel like they're a sense of community and they're a part of that community. I feel like community is a big thing that we need here. I think maybe that's gotten lost just a little bit. I think that as you move here, you have churches, great schools. You're going to build friendships and relationships with everyone here. I think that's important, and it goes back to the community feel. So I can't say enough things about Columbiana because I've been here my whole life. I would just say come and be part of it, come and join us, come and feel the hospitality, the friendliness, and let us introduce you to our life. It's a little slower pace. We have lots of amenities. We have lots of businesses, but there's always room for improvement, and I would encourage anyone to get plugged in and be involved and invest in the community.
Thank you. So that concludes the question and answer portion of the mayoral forum. We'll now move into closing statements from the candidates, and that order was determined by a drawing held just before they came forward, and that order will be, we will start with Mr. Mitchell with his closing statement. Mr. Mitchell.
I alluded to this earlier, kind of how I got to Columbiana in 1971. I'll tell you a little bit more about what has gone on since then. Kathy and I married in '72. We went to college at Auburn. We had a little bit different college life. We were married, we had a child. I worked a full-time job. I worked in the second shift of a cotton mill in Opelika. Made $2.70 an hour. Minimum wage was $2 an hour back then, so I thought we were in high cotton. Kathy worked in a beauty shop on Main Street, next to College Street in Auburn, next to Johnston Malone bookstore. It was Mary D's was the name of it. Kathy's claim to fame was that she was the manicurist and shampoo girl for Evelyn Jordan, who was Shug Jordan's wife. Mary did Evelyn's hair, but Kathy was the assistant there. So after I graduated, I got commissioned in ROTC. Kathy pinned my gold bars on my shoulders, and later on in pilot training, she pinned the silver wings on my chest. And so the military took us away. But we always tried to come home. We got stationed twice in Mississippi, twice in Georgia, so we could be a short drive from home. When I went to Iceland during the Cold War to chase Russians around the North Atlantic and the Arctic Circle, Kathy and the kids came back here to Columbiana to live. Finally, when I got out of the Air Force in '92, I thought we were going to get to come home. Got a job at PIMCO, which used to be Hayes Aircraft at the Birmingham Airport. And then they said, we want you to go to Austin, Texas. So I was there for 2.5 years, did a good job there, got promoted. They brought me back to run the facility there. Finally got to come back, that was in 1995, and that's when we purchased our home here in Columbiana. And we purchased the home that Kathy grew up in. She was born and raised here. We purchased it from her mother. It was kind of a win-win for her and us, and that's where we live today. None of that matters, though, okay, because when you're mayor, it doesn't really matter where you're from or if you're the CEO of a company or whatever. What matters is, do you have the knowledge to do the job? Do you have the experience to do the job? And can you get results? And we can get results in Columbiana, and we have. I became mayor because we were in a city in decline, and we've turned it around. We were last in every census category that came out in 2020. But now we've turned all that around. Instead of an 18.6% poverty rate, we now have an 11.7% poverty rate. Median home values have almost doubled. Our growth rate, instead of being negative, is now a little less than 2% annually. Average household incomes have almost doubled. So everything is going good. Business is thriving. Business licenses have increased 200%. Record-setting infrastructure improvements. So I humbly request your vote on August 26th. And if you want to stick around afterwards, I'd be glad to talk to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Ms. Davis, if you'll share your closing statement.
Sure. One of the first things I want to share is I'm not a politician. I might not be the smartest person in the room, but I'm going to get to the bottom of things. I'm going to learn, and I'm going to sacrifice and do it all for my town. If you know me, you know that I love my little town of Columbiana. It's the town that raised me, shaped me, nurtured me, supported my family, prayed for me, and loved me through every high and low in my life. It's where I met my husband, raised my children. I volunteered and worked here. I've lived out so many of life's big and small moments. For over 50 years, I've been proud to call Columbiana home. I'm homegrown, and I'm proud of it. After a lot of prayer and deep reflection, I did decide to take the leap of faith and run for mayor of Columbiana. It wasn't a decision made lightly. It came from a deep love, a service, and a calling to give back to a place that's given me so much. The word that I keep coming back to is community. It's my community, your community, and the future of our community. If I can play even a small role in helping Columbiana grow stronger, more financially secure, more connected, then I will work hard to achieve those goals. I will show up, I will listen, I will lead with honesty, humility, and integrity. As your mayor, I will communicate clearly and honestly, even when the road gets tough. I will make wise financial choices that reflect our values and our vision. I will support the local businesses that are the heartbeat of our economy, and I will look for economic development. I will expand recreational spaces so that our families can thrive and have lots of activities. I will be a leader that is accessible, accountable, transparent, and truly for the people. Because this isn't just where I live, this is who I am. Running for mayor isn't about holding a title, it's about serving the people who make Columbiana great. So tonight, I'm not just asking for your vote, I'm asking for your partnership. Let's come together, let's bring fresh ideas while honoring our past and build a stronger, more connected Columbiana. I would be humbled to have your support and your vote on August the 26th. Thank you, and God bless you, and continue. God bless the little town that made me and that we all call home. And I do want to thank the Shelby County Reporter and the Chamber of Commerce and all of you guys for coming and being involved and wanting to be a part of this choice. I'm very thankful that you're here, and I just want to thank you.
Thank you.